Well, good evening, everybody. He's come to rest his big heavy head on my leg. Oh, Jack, you're a comedian. Well, I've been very, very busy all day, toing and froing, and just involved in multiple tasks. So I'm just sitting down now outside the cottage here at the front, and I've been thinking for much of the day as I work manually. I've been thinking, my mind's been off in one of those lovely little therapy sessions, away with the fairies, as they put it in Ireland. Well, I've spent the day away with the fairies. But I did a little live stream this morning on Facebook. Every so often I do that. That's Jack drinking some water from the wee bird bath over there. You'd think he had no water at all in the porch, and he's got a big bowl of it. But anyway, I did a little live stream this morning on Facebook because I try to do that every so often, because not everyone who subscribes to the YouTube channel sees Facebook, and not everyone who subscribes to Facebook sees the YouTube channel, So anyway, I did a wee live stream, and it was the sort of culmination of many thoughts regarding the Lisheen house video that I shot on Saturday. It was so interesting, you see, to read all your comments underneath that video, and it gave me time for reflection, because I don't know how you roll, but the way that I roll is that I encounter a situation and I don't process it too much at the time. I try to just experience it, feel it, intuit it. And it's only much later then, it could be days, weeks, or even months later, that I actually take the time to process it. So your comments under the video, and comments as well on Facebook, has helped to clarify for me what was the outcome of my experience there at Lisheen House. And it occurred to me that there has been a massive build-up of folklore and tales of the supernatural around Lisheen House. And part of that is to do with the way that the human race themselves live. Most of the time, human beings live in fear. Fear of all kinds of things. Small things, big things. Fear of government, fear of church, fear of what will happen if you don't do good, fear of the grass growing too long on the lawn. There's just so many fears. And the biggest fear, I think, and this is something that people manifest, primarily manifest for themselves, is fear of the other world. And that's why I do believe so many cling on to religion, because religion gives them succour. Dogma will help people through this life, and tell them that it'll be okay, and that this is how it is, and that's how it is, and and people cling to that. And I understand that. And I think that every one of us clings to dogma of some kind or other. But I do believe that many of the people who have visited the ruins of Lisheen House have gone there with an image of what to expect. And that image is inculcated with fear. And so, as I said this morning on Facebook Live, it's a bit like an old woman living up a laneway, and because she's old and she lives on her own, she's got a cat, perhaps people start to, children maybe start to call her a witch, and then, years go by and rumours spread, and the difference between truth and fiction is blurred, and so when she encounters children then who are obviously scared of her, she will play up to that and probably go, wow, go away, get away with you, or something like that. And so people then will say, well, that particular woman is, someone to avoid, she's bad. And it didn't actually start like that. Well, that's what I believe has happened at Lisheen House, and has happened at so many other places as well, that the house has been given this reputation, and the house will mirror what the visitor is carrying with them. Because when I visited Lisheen House on Saturday, I had a very open heart. My mind was still. I didn't have any fear, because you know what I've said to you before about what my grandmother said. Don't fear the dead. It's only the living you should fear. And because it took me quite a long time to find the place, and as I finally, walked through the field, and suddenly, as I just kind of turned a little bend in the laneway, there was the house. And my first response was, I felt an enormous sorrow for the house, that human life had rejected it. And then I walked slowly up to it, and so I was very receptive to the house. I was very open, and I do believe that that's why my experience was so different down there. I felt an enormous sense of calm and serenity and peacefulness, and I felt very at home. I felt I could have laid down on the leaves inside the house and gone to sleep. It was what I can only describe as a very beautiful experience. And the only part of the entire visit that was different was when I stood on that particular spot, and I felt a wave of sadness overtake me. That's the only way in which I can describe it. It was like a mini tsunami of sadness, and as quickly as it had come over me, it had passed, and I rose up out of it because I moved. And as soon as I moved, it was over. It's a beautiful place. And I sensed a very strong sense of healing. That's the place where healing can happen. I am well, I was going to say that I'm shocked at other people's perceptions of it, but I'm not really shocked at all. I'm going to go back there. I'll wait for the season of Lunacy to begin. And Lunacy Eve, as you know, those of you who have the calendar, is the 31st of July. That's Lunacy Eve. Lunacy is the first harvest. There was a couple of comments under the video that said, oh, you know, it's fine during the day, you know, you should try, you know, being there at night. I really don't understand those comments, because here I am living on my own in this little cottage, and quite often I'll step outside the back door and I'll walk over to the tunnel, you know, at midnight. The only sense I ever get when I'm out at night is that I'm being observed, because I think that the veil is perhaps a bit thinner at night, you know. So I do feel as though there are spirits, I suppose, or beings, or entities, or fairies, or whatever it is we want to call them. I do feel that maybe the night is more their time, and so yes, I am being observed, but not in a threatening way. I think that this is one of the big problems, you know, that we as a species are carrying into this age of climatic change and uncertainty. We're carrying an enormous amount of fear. And we really do need to sort this one out. There's a little bird, look at the birdhouse there. I don't know if you've seen that. I don't know if the camera picked it up, but I was just watching it. So there's another little round of nestlings. Huh. Amazing. So much life. Yeah. This little breeze is beautiful. It's just beautiful. Now, I brought back in the car from several of the journeys that I've made today, though I still haven't got down to the garden centre and bought my big sack of bird nuts, peanuts, but I have bought I think it's a 3 kilo bag, so I must go around and fill up the little bird feeders now. Keep the birdies happy, keep them fed, do the best we can for them. Don't give up on them. Mother Earth isn't giving up. So, oh, Jack has a wee tick on him. Come here, come here. Right, let me just put this camera down while I take this tick off him. Come here, Jack. Good boy. Good boy. Let me see. Come on. What you doing? What you doing? There we go. Now, done. I just remember to wash my hands when I go in. That's the only thing you have to do when you remove a tick from a pet. Just give your hands a jolly good wash. Yes. That was probably annoying you, wasn't it, Jack? That's what you get for running in long grass. Yeah, that's what you get. He says, I don't care. I love running in long grass. Yeah. So, are you talking to me? Oh, get down with you. No, what are you talking about? That's the noises he makes when he tries to communicate with me. Bless him. Blessed little creature. So, anyway, I shall get on in now and load this video up. Expecting, well, I was going to say expecting rain, but the forecast says that it's going to be quite nice. Although it's very cloudy, but you know me, I embrace that cloud. That's Celtic cloudiness up there. Watching all these wee birds turn and froing. Well, if I can just hoist myself up out of this chair, because I'll tell you, it's very comfortable, this wee blue chair. There's a wee cursory glance over there at some of my veggies. And beyond, see over there by the goddess, look. She's got lots of those lovely pelargoniums beaming up at her, surrounding her. So I'll say blessings to you all. Oh, by the way, my friend Cara Ann Doherty is her name. She's got a Facebook page, Cara Ann Doherty. And you'll see a link to her on my Facebook page. She's having an art exhibition, her very first art exhibition on Thursday, and I'm helping her to assemble it and put it together. And she's asked me to open it for her. So I have to find a ball gown now. I've never done anything like this before. Opened an art exhibition. But seriously, it's happening on Thursday, and what I said I'd do, because she's incredibly nervous, and I'm going to be buying one of her paintings, by the way, because she really is that good. In fact, she's done some beautiful paintings. Anyway, I'm going to be making a little video. I might even do a live stream, because I believe the place where she's having the exhibition has got pretty good Wi-Fi. So, fingers crossed, I'll be able to do a live stream and a little video and a little interview with Cara, who is one of the most beautiful people I know. And like all good artists, she has come through a very, very hard time in her own life. And painting has been her way of expressing everything, but she really has emerged as a painter, and I think that's wonderful. So I'm going to be there supporting her and doing a live stream, so tune in. It's going to be on Thursday. I'm going to be doing a live stream on Facebook at about 6:30, 6:45, something like that. So I'm going to be doing that for about half an hour or so, and then I'm going to do a brief live stream on this channel here, The Ultimate Cottage on YouTube, and then I'll also make a little video. So blessings to you all, and look at that lovely bouddleia over there. Okay. Right. It's starting to spit with rain a little bit. Oh, that's a nice wee shot. Blessings to you all.